Hello there, post-recording Dan here. On second listen of this while I'm editing, I realise this is one of the most un-audio-friendly podcasts we've ever recorded, and it's a bit of a nightmare to sit through, honestly. But there is some really important moments we kind of touch on here in the film, and it is quite a funny one, and it's an interesting one. However, for those of you that don't want to sit through all the screaming and the noise peaks and the horribleness, I've put some time codes in the description below, and I probably will start doing this for the rest of the podcast as well, so people can kind of skip around. But you can go straight to the kind of movie review and the spoiler section if you want. I'll include a little section in the middle where we get massively sidetracked and it gets very loud, so you can completely skip past that one if need be. So that way you can enjoy the movie review, you can enjoy the podcast without going deaf and without having to listen to our annoying voices too much. Thank you very much. Hey there, Spud. It's Dan Hearn here. Sorry to bother you. I'm just calling Dan. About slave labour.
I think I'm interested. Yeah, what are you selling it for?
I don't know. The film never actually explained it.
That's a fair point. I've got one right here.
Stick to the script.
Sorry.
Hello again, welcome back to the DNDND podcast. My name, as always, is Dan, and I'm here with my co-host, Spud.
I always have my white person voice.
Oh, I bet you do, sir. We're joined today by a number of guests. Pre-warning, we are recording 3 in one go, so once you get to 2 weeks past this, we're going to be absolutely blitzed. But we are here today with a new Mr. Robert Sawley McHuggett-Smith.
Yeah, it's just actually Rob, but hello.
A returning Adam Hawkswood.
You know, you all hate that I'm here, and so do I.
Yeah. A returning sweary Eve Bullard.
I'm not that bad.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not that bad.
And if he decides to make a quick voice appearance, we've got the captain, Patrick Bell.
Yo, my slimes.
Oh, jeez. Apologies for the audio for this one already, because there's 6 of us in a room with one mic, and it's going to be a bit of a nutcase, but we'll see what we can do. We watched Sorry to Bother You today. Boots Riley directed. Lakeith,
Lakeith Stanfield.
Lakeith Stanfield starring. Got me there. Quality film, but I do want to start initially off with a little bit of news, and we did discuss it pre the film.
We did.
DC Fandome.
Indeed.
A number of things came to fruition.
It was wild.
A lot.
It was a bit wild. Initially, the Batman. How you all feeling about that?
I like it.
I do like the Robert Pattinson lead. I've got a bit of a man boner for him recently.
Absolutely.
Since The Lighthouse, since Good Time.
Since Twilight.
Jesus, man.
I'm interested.
I'm loving it. I'm loving the new Pattinson
I
direction.
am Team Edwards.
Oh,
Very much so.
absolutely put
What?
right, Spud. I am Team Edward, especially when Robert Pattinson beats every bone out of just like some man he finds in the street in this trailer. It really shows that Batman is a man to be loved and admired by the people of Gotham.
I mean, first of all, he was beating up seagulls, now he's beating up men. I think it's a natural transition.
Fair point.
I hate to say it. But
He's
it
watching
is.
his friend
Yeah,
turn
exactly.
into God himself, and
Well,
now he's
exactly.
Batman.
That's exactly right.
I am a bit.
Spoilers.
Oh yeah, you haven't watched
I haven't
Lighthouse.
seen it yet.
I am a bit confused.
Go on.
When does he start playing baseball?
When does he start stalking Bella Swan?
No. Because if he's a Batman,
The Batman, you're
he
rubbish.
should. To be fair,
Greatest
Robert-
joke on
No.
Robert Battenbat.
Robert's batting bat.
very clever.
Robert Battenbat.
As someone who knows a little bit about vampires, they can turn into bats. So Batman
Shit.
That's
could
true.
be just an actual
actually-
vampire.
He has not changed his character.
Oh my
at
God.
all.
Oh no.
Are
They
they?
just moved.
Don't
He's
tell me
fantastic.
they're doing a Gotham Twilight shared universe.
I would be living for that.
What would that
These
expanded
nuts.
universe even be called?
the
Gothlight is EU.
No. D's nuts. Ha.
What?
Gotham.
Oh,
that
that's
may have
just
been
the
the
same
one-
universe.
That's the
though.
worst joke I've heard in a
That's
long
true.
time.
Moving on from the Batman, even though it is interesting, we've got a lot to cover in this one. We've also got The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn.
It's looking good.
Yeah, we watched a lot of trailers.
It's a lot of people.
So many people. all very interesting. Other than that one girl who just plays a someone.
Don't be sexist.
Oh yeah, it's just like the.
A woman
I'm sure
with a
that
gun.
is like a name for her character.
Well, she's
in
not in the
but-
comics.
Is she? Not, is she a
Isn't
new
she?
character?
No, she's well, supposedly a new character. So is TDK, but TDK is Armful of
Arm
Man.
Fall Off Man. You know
What?
the classic. Okay, so you know Nathan Fillion,
Yeah.
the big like guy that's wearing like a helmet and vest with the old skull and crossbones on his shirt.
Yeah,
He's playing a character called TDK, and that is a character in the comics who can take his arms off and hit them against
He's
people.
Armful Off Boy.
That's
I
brilliant.
love the
Yeah.
sound of that.
Oh, it's meant to be kind of a bit of a teaser because of the
Yeah.
trailer, but you can literally his logo. The
Yeah, he
tattoo.
has no arms.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
notice that. I did notice that.
But people have been speculating what TDK stands for. At one of the podcasts we both watched, they insinuated it would be the Dark Knight because he thinks he's bigger than he is, and then people just call him Armful Off Man. I'm excited. And King Shark is my pick for the beast of the film.
Yeah, MVP.
I hated the first film.
Oh, yeah, no,
Don't
everyone
be-
did.
Suicide Squad was
yeah.
a horrible film.
Release the David Ayer cut.
Exactly, but it as some kind from that, this is looking like a good film. I'm
Yeah.
liking the direction they're
I'm
taking.
interested. I
I've
trust
seen
James
very
Gunn.
little, but it looks cool. It looks very
To
cool.
be fair, compared to the first one, a little bit of dog shit on a sandwich probably look favourable.
Yeah, I agree.
You
Margot
don't.
Robbie's amazing in both, though.
No, she is the only redeeming
Well,
factor.
no, I think
of
a
both.
lot of people in the first one were good. It's just it's cut so weirdly
Oh God, yeah.
that no one in any scene looks like an actor. They just look like a random person that was forced into a studio and held at gunpoint.
I mean,
and
Jai
they, like,
Jai
kind of
Courtney-
acted.
Jai Courtney is dressed as a homeless man.
He's barely
she's-
boomerang in that film.
Yeah,
It's quite
because
unfortunate.
I like it. I like Captain Boomerang.
How are they working out the reboot? Because it's still got some consistency with
I mean,
the cast.
We
Yeah.
don't really know. I know
I suppose
James,
we don't
James
know
Gunn
anything
wanted it to be
really.
a continuity, but not really a sequel.
Yeah.
So he
Oh.
brought the good leads back
Yeah.
from it. And same with Rick Flag. Rick Flag was interesting in the
Paul-
first film, but
Paul
he
Will
looks
Smith.
a lot better.
Paul
Will
Will
Smith
Smith.
was a poor Deadshot.
Oh yeah.
He was
I think he was just
awful.
there for the star power, though. Really.
Yeah.
He's just the biggest name in that film, maybe bar Margot Robbie.
There were,
I'm very
Cara
upset.
Delevingne is in that.
Oh,
film.
shit,
Oh,
yeah.
she
She
was
was
the
terrible.
worst.
Oh no,
But
she's
Cara
that's
Delevingne
the
isn't like a
full-
famous actor. She's just like a fucking famous woman with big eyebrows. You know, like
Yeah. That's
Gee.
true. She was my 12-year-old crush.
yeah,
Jesus Christ.
who wasn't?
Like you.
Anyway,
Wow.
guys, here is the
Who's wasn't?
brief cover of the DC Fandome.
Oh, we're not even done yet.
Oh, yeah.
We've also got. Well, we're just doing a bit of a Mr. Sunday Movies news scope, aren't we? Really. We've got obviously Wonder Woman 1984 was covered very quickly. Not a lot new was revealed other than Cheetah or
Yeah.
Leopard or Big Cat or Lion or whatever her name is.
Some kind of apex cat predator.
Essentially so. And Black Adam is obviously The Rock. Very interesting. Got the Warner Brothers Montreal game Gotham Knights.
Yes.
Very interesting. We watched the trailer together and it involves Nightwing, Robin, normal Robin.
Tim Drake Robin.
Tim
Tim
Drake.
Drake
I can't tell if he's Robin or Red Robin.
I think he's Robin because Red Robin has a different costume.
I
Red
think
Robin
there is a Red
and-
Robin skin.
Mm.
To be fair though, if Barbara's still Batgirl, which
yeah.
she is, that technically should still be Jason Todd as Robin, but
Well, Jason Todd's Red Hood, isn't he?
yeah.
So
And if Damien is
it'll
in
be
there,
it'll be DLC.
probably
Let's be real, the skins will be DLC.
yeah.
Trailer-
Microtransactions, I believe, are the word these
Oh,
days.
100%.
Is that one also 4-player co-op? I've just clocked.
No.
Because there was 4 characters, or is you play as one
no.
character?
So in the gameplay trailer that they did release, you can play it solo, but it is solo online,
Oh,
and so
okay.
you can join other parties, and so you can co-op it. So if you're playing together, it takes the route of one solo character in their storyline, and then you join in after the cutscenes.
Okay.
The gameplay doesn't look amazing. The concept of it does.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm interested in, and I fucking love Arkham games. So
I agree. I just hope they don't fuck it, because we were saying when we were watching the other trailer.
Yeah.
I won't spoil your intro. Just the 4-player co-op route has been overdone a lot, so I hope they don't fuck it here a bit, because these both look like they've got a lot of potential as games,
yeah,
but
even
easily fucked.
even if they fuck up the storyline in the main bit, I assume they'll be able to redeem something at least with the core of Owls,
I
because
would
that
hope
is
so.
the first time it's ever been brought into in-game content. The first time it's brought to a big media other than the comics. Court of Owls is a fascinating storyline, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I think the sad thing is there's a lot of these IPs around at the moment that are a lot of potential, but are just being that the games themselves are just really terrible.
Oh yeah.
Like both of these games could be really, really cool or absolutely terrible, but I just hope they are, on the cool side. But
I really hope so as well.
I don't know. We'll see.
And then along with that, we've got Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League.
This is the one that's... Oh, sorry. Just go ahead.
So essentially, what happens in the trailer is we've got Harley Quinn, we've got Deadshot, we've got King Shark, and we've got Australian Captain Boomerang in the OG outfit. They do a little bit of fighting, they do a little bit of back and forth rapport, and then they are met with a Superman. They do not realise is an evil Superman, and that is their target to fight. That's the end of the trailer. Very interesting. No gameplay. Cool concept.
Likewise, I feel like it's a game that could easily go down the kind of
100%.
bullet horde,
Four-player
co-op,
bullshit, yeah.
really boring, repetitive gameplay kind of thing.
Every boss is a sponge, and it's
Exactly.
just like, yeah.
I'm just hoping not.
This one has so much more promise though, because it's still in the same universe as the Arkham games.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Possibly?
Yeah.
Probably.
Rocksteady.
Yeah. Looking at the trailers, you wouldn't guess it, because...
It's looking like a different
Yeah,
art
yeah.
style.
I mean, it is hinted at throughout the Arkham games. There is like a wider universe. Superman is definitely mentioned. You've got somebody on the Justice League, but it's definitely not mentioned that
Directly.
there is a definite Justice League apart from anything else, let alone a Suicide Squad, which makes like the concept of the game very strange. I think people are sort of asking if it comes before or after the games, and that is quite a large span of time anyway.
Well, you were saying earlier there's already inconsistencies with the
Yeah.
Deadshot character because they're, different characters in the Arkham games to this trailer, so who knows really where this is going.
That's us out of the DC Fandome area. Spud, what have you been drinking today?
I've been drinking Tesco Peach Schnapps with J2O
Oh, I know you have.
because I'm a filthy boy.
You have indeed. I've been drinking a Tesco Ginger Ale with a mix of red leg, vanilla, and ginger spiced rum.
It's cool.
It's beautiful, isn't it,
I
Rob?
I
bet.
think me and Hawkers have really just been having a selection of cans. Just really anything we get our hands on.
I don't want any kind of slander. I've been drinking Tesco Value Vodka with Tango, a branded drink, not sponsored.
Fucking brilliant. Eve?
I have to agree with Horses on the Tesco Value vodka, but this time with the ginger ale as well. Tesco Value.
Very true. And Patrick, you've just arrived, so you've been sipping nothing.
A couple of Sam Miggies. Nice. I'll have you know.
Brilliant. That's what we've been drinking today. Spud, as always, would you like to give me a quick plot breakdown?
Yes. So,
Rattle it off.
there is a man, and he lives in a garage, and he has a girlfriend. A very, very pretty girlfriend.
Oh, I love Tessa.
We'll get onto that later. And so he joins a call centre and is instructed that people will not listen to him unless he uses his white person voice. So he does that, and then he gets promoted to not head, but to a higher position in the
Power
company.
cooler.
I believe it's
Yeah.
powerful, yeah.
And then his friends back downstairs, the low-level workers, organise a strike. And he discovers more and more of the dirty secrets of this company, while also fighting his friends and getting product placement thrown at his head.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Quite
Rising
accurate.
through the ranks of this company.
Very accurate, yeah.
Rising through the wang.
There's a lot of racial commentary going on.
Yep.
It is subtle at points and very unsubtle at points in
Yeah.
the best way possible.
Yeah.
I would say a lot of metaphors in there and a lot of really airplane naked gun-esque jokes that are thrown at you.
Some
And
absolutely brilliant cutaways, basically.
Oh yeah,
Great,
It's-
like sight gags and stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of them also like play into an actual message, which some people don't really get in like Airplane, like Naked Gun.
It's like gag comedy, but with a meaning.
Yeah.
It's
That's
very
what's
like
so nice about
Black Klansman-esque in the fact that it's a fun film to watch.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
very interesting. It's very
Yeah.
comedic, but
It's
there
not-
is a deeper message.
Yeah.
Like
It's
hidden
not
in
fun
it.
to think about.
Oh,
it's
no,
important
absolutely
to
not.
think about. Not fun.
I think the film kind of doesn't let you get away with not thinking about it, though. because
Very
it
true.
Really
It will
shoves
shove
its
it back in
message
your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very clever. It's awesome. Would you recommend it?
Yes.
Yeah,
We don't
100%?
usually do that this early, but yes, I would.
Well, I think that there's not a lot to talk about without spoilers, in my opinion.
Fair
I would
point.
agree.
Is a very the longer you watch it, the deeper it goes.
That's very true.
Kind of like a fish.
I
Kind
feel
of
like
like a fish.
Yes.
That was the worst metaphor I've ever heard.
You know what?
Would you like me to make it worse, Eve?
Oh,
Then let's
God.
stop here, okay?
Why is that threat?
Would you recommend it, Rob?
I would 100% recommend it. Yeah.
Even though it's 2 years old at this point as well.
I think it's more and more relevant as
Oh,
2020
yeah.
has unfolded. It's
Awfully
become
relevant at
yeah,
this point.
It really has.
Hawkers?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, even without like the political commentary and all that stuff, it's a very enjoyable watch.
Very pretty to look at.
Yeah,
very
exactly.
Fun.
Yeah.
That's true.
Full on Just go past that.
Cinematography.
Simp. I mean, we
Full
were,
sim.
Cut
which
that
I'm sure
out.
we will come into.
I think you need cinematography, right?
I just don't know anymore.
I think you were saying you liked the cinematography.
I mean, the amount that you guys were talking about Tessa Thompson, it might as well have been simpatography.
I love Tess
Yeah.
Thompson. Eve?
Everyone loves Tessa Thompson.
I mean, do you recommend it?
Absolutely, yeah.
100%. It's very relevant for these days. It was relevant in 2018 when it came out, but my god, is it relevant now? But it is
Zeitgeisty.
very interestingly true. It's a fantastic watch. It's a fun watch, even if it is a bit dark at times. But it's an essential watch. If not,
I agree.
all right, we ready for spoilers?
I think it's spoiler time, boys.
Spoiler time.
All right.
Okay.
Spoiler, do you want to roll me off the cast quickly as well?
Fair enough. We have our main character, Cassius Green,
My boy Lakeith.
as
Yeah.
Lakeith Stanfield,
Legend.
and your ideal woman, Tessa Thompson.
I mean,
As
she's a
Detroit.
goddess.
Well, technically she's a Valkyrie, but yeah.
Oh,
Oh, very clever. Very clever.
What are you doing that?
Yeah, go on, carry on.
We have Cassius's best friend Salvador,
Yep.
Jermaine Fowler.
I don't recognise him from a lot, honestly.
No, Amari Hardwick as Mr.
I think he was the
Mr.
guy with the eye patch.
Oh,
Right?
Yes, it's
okay,
written
yeah,
down
yeah.
here as Mr. Lime,
Many
Oh,
underscores.
that's clever. I like
Yeah.
that you named. Yeah.
who had an eye patch and a hell of a beard.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible,
Fucking
but-
brilliant sideburns.
Terry Crews as Sergio, his
Yeah.
uncle.
His uncle.
The landlord.
Kate Burlant as the only other woman in the film.
Unfortunately.
Oh my god, Diana Debauchery.
Yeah, that's it. It's
Oh, they
quite
made a
brilliant.
joke on it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You've also got Patton Oswalt voicing the white
Yeah.
voice of Mister.
Indeed.
And,
And you've got
David
Cross.
Cross as Cassius's voice.
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt as Mister's voice. And Lily James as Detroit's white British voice.
Was that Lily James?
Well,
Yes.
Apparently.
For
That's
some reason
brilliant.
it's
Really?
specified as British here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why.
Interesting. You've got Danny Glover as well makes an appearance, and he's the first one
He
to kind
does.
of
He
start the chain
introduces-
reaction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Called
introduced the
Langston.
white voice concept as well.
Langston.
Do you know who his white voice is? Is it clear on there? Because I think that's most of your main characters. In my opinion.
I can't find it. It's probably
Catwoman from Arkham
very
City.
someone else.
Yeah, I feel like, if anything, his white voice is not going to be the most prominent actor. David Cross and
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt, they're the really
Yeah, very
Lily
true.
James do.
They are the essential ones.
The
So
main
you
white
can't
voices. It was an absolutely
I can't
excellent
find
cast. Everyone did a great job. I feel
100%.
like
They were fantastic.
we mentioned that, like, sort of all the background actors, their facial expressions during the kind of moments that they needed to be were very accurate, very spot on.
yeah.
Like when the debauchery woman was saying all the kind of like,
Oh,
you know,
that
She was
was-
we're a
that was
team.
beautiful.
I'm not your manager. We're just team
Yeah.
members. All the facial expressions
Yeah.
very dry. and
She's
very kind
so
of-
funny.
It was very good.
You got Squeeze as well. Glenn
Right.
from The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah,
Indeed.
of course.
Stephen Hume.
Yeah,
Stephen Yeun.
legend.
He's
Yeah, there's
There's
also
so many good characters.
It was really
Army-
good.
Army-
And
Hammer.
Army Hammer plays Steve Lift.
Steve Lift.
Yeah.
I think
I can't believe that's an actual name. Army Hammer.
I know.
Army Hammer.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's like the most Chad name.
Nice to
and
meet
he
you,
played
Ryan.
such a Chad
Yeah.
character.
The first Army Hammer film I ever watched was Repo Men, which is mind blowing
Yeah.
to me. But that was quality.
but they all put like such actual acting effort into the parts they're playing, which makes it just so much more than like a stupid like
Well, it was
I don't know.
a lot of parts of it were very absurd, very silly.
Yeah.
But
100%.
the actors played it off so well, and like it was just
Exactly.
part of the world that they were in. I think the world that they built around them was so real. Like it felt like an actual world, despite all of the silliness that was taking part in the world.
God, yeah.
I think it was like played straight in a way that the actors kind of let on in a very subtle way that they were being kind of silly about it. But it was also like in terms of the narrative, like completely dead on. Like the whole narrative is meant to be essentially a drama, but as the audience, you find it funny. It's executed so well. I wasn't expecting it at all.
I think the airplane, Naked Gun
comparison
is very, very accurate, because all the characters in Airplane, they just feel like, you know, that's just
everything they see doesn't
very
matter.
deadpan.
Yeah,
exactly.
I feel like there is a lot of let's edit that one out, Daniel. There's a lot of Leslie Nielsen kind of inspiration.
Absolutely. That kind of energy. Absolutely.
It's cool. It's funny. It's really funny for something that shouldn't be funny.
Yeah. Well, for something that's making such a serious point and such a serious statement about society, it really plays off the comedy well. Yeah. And that kind of thing, like there's a lot of movies that are kind of very serious but also try and tie in the comedy that really fail. Like there's Blake Lively film and Anna Kendrick film that's meant to be like a sort of thriller comedy.
Yes, we've watched that.
Perfect.
Nice.
It's the one where the girl disappears.
Yeah, it's honestly just
Gone Girl.
A Simple Favour.
No, not a Simple Favour.
Yes.
It's
so bad because they really get the mix of comedy and thriller wrong. But this movie just gets that. It's not a thriller, but it's, I don't know, a drama.
There's scary, well, not even scary points. There are very
disconcerting,
points.
very unnerving points. I 100% agree.
Let's get into the plot a bit. So, you've got Cassius. He's your...
Cash Green.
Fantastic. Every single name in this is very poignant as
Thought out.
But Tessa Thompson's name is Detroit, Michigan or something?
Is it actually Detroit?
Is it actually Michigan?
It's only... No. It's only...
Is it just the first name?
It's only labelled as Detroit online.
Oakland?
Yeah, where is it?
Hold on.
It's set in Oakland, yeah.
Yeah, it's set in Oakland. Oakland is a...
It's set in America.
Oakland's in San Francisco, is it not?
It's not in San Fran.
No,
Oakland's
LA.
in like south...
I don't know.
Well, it's just because the character
In
designer said
Oakland.
she based all the characters, especially Detroit's one,
California.
off of Black Lives Matter protests in Oakland.
Oakland,
So I
South
didn't
Cali.
know that was any relevance to her name or whatever.
We need to research films more before we do
We
this.
probably
because we've got
should.
points for it. Yeah, all the names are very poignant in this. They're very well thought out, and they're like. It seems a lot of this film, there's points in the background and parts of it that you seem to miss that all seem kind of relevant.
It's an attention to detail that you don't see in a lot of films,
100%.
but it's really nice because it makes, especially because we both watched it before.
Yeah.
So it makes it a much more entertaining second watch. It makes it a much more entertaining second watch because there are things you wouldn't notice the first time around, and you're like, fuck, that's some nice foreshadowing.
Definitely. Like the riding crop.
The riding crop or something I didn't notice before. Yeah, that's just
in the what was it, Easy Living or something, what was it called? Like the weird company owned by Steve Lift.
Oh, I know the name as well.
Work Free.
No, it's
something free.
Something free. It's definitely with a W. I swear.
Worry Free.
Worry Free.
That's the Worry Free.
In one of the first shots of the Worry Free adverts, there's like a horseshoe on like the mantelpiece.
Is there?
I
didn't even notice
that is some serious foreshadowing. But it's the sort of thing. I think a movie that you can watch multiple times and get more out of every time. You know, that really just tells you this is a movie that someone's really put a lot of effort into.
Yeah. So me and Rob saw. We have seen this before previously. Eve, Hawkers, Spud, and Patrick have never seen this, but Patrick unfortunately came in about halfway through. Damn! So he missed most of it. That's why he's staying a bit silent. But there is a lot of depth to the film that you don't notice the first time, and that is brilliant. But Cassius Green is a working class man living in the garage of his uncle, trying to get a job. He gets a job at a call centre, does what he can there, but realises that he will not get by without using his white voice, as advised by Danny Glover.
Indeed.
Uses his white voice and quickly climbs up the business ladder.
It turns out that when you're not thinking, or when his customers aren't thinking, oh, this is a scam, because racism is dead in America, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
It turns out that he is an absolute prodigy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the way Danny Glover describes the white voice is almost like a spot-on description of like the classic white privilege. Like it's sort of like your bills are paid, you're safe. So I think that's kind of what it's meant to represent. The fact
It's less.
if you
It's
can
less your
afford-
skin color and
Yeah.
more like if you
a
when you hear the words
run.
white privilege, what
Yeah.
do you think of? Oh, he's got his car paid out. He's done all
absolutely.
this. He lives like that. That's the voice
It's
they
more
go with.
like the desirable
Yeah.
place in society.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
necessarily linked to race, but it's more white people.
Which is
that would have
arguably
that.
even more insidious.
Yeah.
But
And it's fantastic, and you're introduced immediately to the gold elevator as well, which is only the higher ups in the company are able to use the elevator. Everyone else must use the stairs.
It's a classic kind of American dream situation because it's in the lobby, so everyone coming into the building can see it, but it's the unattainable goal.
yeah,
It's also kind of weirdly shot like a horror shot.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
the
it's
same
very
with
Shining,
Time, It's like a exactly like Shining. Like
It's
you
a lot
see
of-
it
yeah.
head on.
A
It's
lot of
exactly
dolly zooms, a
symmetrical.
lot of blocking, a lot
Well,
of
that we did say that the dolly zoom of him
Yeah.
seeing it for the first time. It's like, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to strive for. And so he then goes through the whole kind of unionization storyline,
Yeah.
but then you really know that his heart isn't in it. I think Lakeith does do a bloody good job of.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy, that's
He
what-
emotes
Yeah.
so well.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
really
actor.
tell what his true motivation is throughout the whole movie because he's just, I don't know, he just does a great job of being kind of sort of uninterested in things.
Yeah, that's true. And then from that point on as well, he meets Squeeze, who is
Yeah.
Glenn from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Stephen Young.
And we find out Glenn is essentially a man that goes around the US starting unions at
Yeah.
smaller companies, like an activist of sorts, and
Is that
starts
an
a
actual
union.
thing?
Yeah,
To be honest, I wouldn't be
Hey,
surprised.
let's
You
not
get people that do
comment.
that, yeah.
I assume it is, but
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it was a satirical kind of role.
Yeah,
but
it was a bit of a
definitely
tongue in
is.
cheek kind of thing. But he starts a union at Regal View and starts kind of like in the middle of their work day, stands
Yeah.
up and tells everyone to put their phones down and starts like a big protest there.
Yeah.
And that stems the peaceful protests of
Yeah.
the Regal View organisation, which is very, very relevant to today's
Yeah.
conversation. And
Yeah.
looking at it now, especially, I watched this film about a year ago. I assume Rob saw it a few months ago. But at the point that we watched it, it was obviously relevant, but it wasn't as hard-hitting as it was post-quarantine and post-Black Lives Matter movement. And now, while it's happening, it is so almost abrasive. It's so hard-hitting when you watch stuff like that. And you see what's happening in real life compared to what's happening in this kind of film,
Yeah.
where they it's not comedic, but it is played for laughs at time. But it's shown to be like a powerful movement,
Yeah.
and wow, is it powerful now?
I think it's
Well,
a great...
actually, when I was just thinking about this. Sorry, but if you'd shown me this movie a couple of years ago, I probably would have said something like, "Oh man, that seems like a fairly large scale thing, like a protest of that size. I'm sure everyone will be covering it." And nowadays, I look at it and go, "Wow, that's a really small scale thing." I understand why they're not. It's just a bit. I mean, that's less commentary on the film and more commentary on life.
Yeah.
Of how
Spud raises a very
depressing
valid
it-
point there.
I think as well, it's a really good way to set up like the divide between like the characters, like the class divide that they have, the working class that are all out protesting, and the guy that's trying to go in. It also kind of brings up the idea of like race betrayers.
Yeah.
It's sort of
Well,
more
don't-
relevant to now, where like the black guy is
don't
going
cross the
against
picket
like
line.
his people crossing the picket line
Yeah.
to be able to succeed
a
in like
classic
capitalists.
And
class
it's because
traitor
that's
situation.
they're talking about it metaphorically, like, oh no, don't go up with the professionals, stay down with us. That's their picket line. But when he does go to work with the higher ups, he physically crosses the picket line and gets a can of Coke thrown at his head,
Well, it's
which
interest-
does him pretty serious damage apparently.
But he doesn't heal until he goes back to the working
Yeah.
class.
Well, it's interesting that the film poses this kind of conflict between... Well, I think it does a very good job, actually, of managing the kind of conflict between race and the conflict between class.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the people in the call centre are sort of
Yeah.
minorities. And
Well, it's
the
no, you
management
can have
are
it.
all white.
Yeah.
But then it kind of poses the race is kind of the new class, or... age is kind of the new
Yeah.
class. It's that classic kind of dichotomy, and it's showing you that it expands more than class. And I think it does a really good job of kind of doing that in a very subtle way.
Oh yeah, It's fantastic.
Yeah, well, outside of the call center or the downstairs, there are 2 black characters in the upstairs.
Yep.
There's Cassius, who is the new guy who just showed up and real American dream in it. And then there's Mr.
Blank.
It's never explained how he got where he is, but I can assume the exact same way that Cassius is. Just
It's quite compelling.
playing the game,
isn't
and
it?
Maybe that's why he has the eye patch.
I love the fact that he has an eye patch. He's clearly like, I reckon his story is the most interesting out of anyone in this film. We don't know his last name. We don't know anything about him.
No.
You don't know his first name or
You
his
know
last
that
name.
he is known by the title of Mr. Something, and that he has an eye patch and a beard.
Could you say that because his eye patch has never been revealed or his eyes never healed, that he never came back to the working
Oh,
class
that's a
roots?
very
Which
interesting
eye
thing.
is
Similar
it? Which
thing.
eye is it?
It's
It
just
is
like a-
left eye.
It's
It's
Oh,
left
it's the
eye.
left eye!
Interesting.
Which brings us
Damn.
beautifully the left eye movement.
To left
Yeah.
eye
So it's shown
movement.
like almost initially in the film, first 20 minutes, if
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And it is a consistent thing throughout the film. The left eye movement is an anti-capitalism movement that fights the
I think, we
what's it
need
called?
the
Wow.
well-being.
The
the well-being.
Worry-free
the
Worry-free
worry-free
Corporation.
I think we
organisation,
need to
because
talk
the
about
worry-free organisation is essentially slave labour.
Yeah.
It's prison labour and slave labour put together,
It's-
but without the being locked up of prisons, and without the sort of, why are we doing this because we can-ness of slave labour.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
sort of what happened if you put those two together and asked a judge how you could get away with it.
It's like the American
Basically.
dream of no rights.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
American dream of human sacrifice.
Yeah.
It's, your work for the sake of work, really.
Well,
It's
they literally say
horrible.
that at some point they say, "Oh, there's no need to worry about pay because it's a lifetime contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sign up with these people. Yeah, you can say on the
That's it,
advertising,
yeah.
you'll never have to worry about being paid again. You'll always be provided because you spend all your life in the same room, eating the same food, being in prison." Yeah.
Well, I mean, the filmmakers go about it in quite like a comedic way as well, because a lot of it is portrayed via adverts.
Yeah.
It is.
So
like
it's
the
the
same way
American
it's done.
style of,
Yeah,
Well, really, the only
you could be here
yeah,
if you were
really.
me.
the only insight to the worry-free company is through the adverts or that kind of like MTV style
Yeah.
Cribs thing.
That's
where
already
the guy
Yeah.
shows you around, and it's all just like kind of trying to tar up this sort
Oh,
of slavery.
Actually, it might be like a weird parallel. I might be looking too
Too
far
deep.
into
You never-
way too
I feel like
You
this
can
is a
never-
film
you can
where
never
you
look
can't
too
really
far.
look
Yeah,
too
yeah,
deep
yeah.
into what's
Not
around.
possible.
You only ever see the uniforms that the work-free,
The worry free.
worry-free, not work-free. That would be almost
the
exactly
opposite.
the opposite. But the worry-free uniforms when they are in spoilers now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Oh,
it's
it's
You
mine.
never announced that.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
I
did.
did.
Yes,
Oh,
Yeah,
did
no,
you?
we did. We did.
Yeah. Don't try and throw the integrity of this
Toss the club
podcast
on.
under the bus.
I'm sorry, your
Yeah.
3 viewers are going to be heartbroken.
Excuse
Four.
me. We get an average of 21 viewers per podcast.
Oh,
Oh.
shit, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
Can we get around a
Quick
little
announcement, quick announcement, quick announcement,
That's
quick
going on
announcement.
too
We are
much.
up to 33 pence.
Oh, hell yeah.
How many flops is
So what's
that?
that split like 5 ways?
Dude, we could buy
Why,
two.
you're not getting paid for this.
Dude,
I've said
what
a
we need,
few
if we
things
had a
like that.
time
I've got
machine,
at
we
least
could
a
buy
penny.
2 Freddos.
Oh,
Yes!
Ladies and
3 if we
gentlemen,
go back far enough.
That is nearly 7 flumps.
That's a
Holy
bloody
shit.
flop for one hand and two fingers
for
on
the
the
other.
other hand.
Mate, you could.
We're
you
really
could-
making it in this big bad world, guys.
You could cut
If you have a
7
flump,
fingers
you can
off
do what
and
you
you'd
want.
still have 2
It's
flumps.
the American flop.
we're basically on that top floor
Oh,
elevator.
God.
We
Exactly.
are,
Oh, you're
Captain
we are
so
the big
right.
coolers.
Captain
Captain
question.
Stores.
Captain
Captain
question.
What's the biggest money maker? What social media?
My ass.
Social media.
yeah.
Your mum's
so
house?
we
Because they're all pretty shit for it.
very true. Behind the scenes of kind of the DNDND podcast, there's a bit of a break into the scheme of it,
A deep cut.
a deep cut of sorts. So we actually did pay for advertising on Instagram and Facebook for a little
we did?
while, just so we could
Okay.
shoot out the podcast, which initially got us a few viewers.
So what you're telling me is that we've still lost
losing
money.
money.
We have definitely lost money.
Cool.
But Spreaker.com/DNDND podcast is where we get the most money because we are able to monetize our podcast through that.
Well,
You trying
boys,
to
you
plug
heard them
your own
out. Listen on
podcast on the
that
podcast?
website.
Correct.
Daniel, it's been very.
business.
We don't care about money. We do this for fun.
Dan,
If we did it for money, we wouldn't be doing it.
even if you did it for money, and I'm not saying that you would, but would you like to spell that website out letter by letter?
Are you insinuating that people should visit spreaker.com/DNDNDPODCAST.com?
I really
Yes,
hope you
I
messed that
am,
up.
but just in
Yeah, he
case
has
you're
messed
doing
up.
it for the
.com
fun,
twice.
don't visit that.
Don't visit that. Only if you'd like to donate.
I mean, I'll watch it on Spotify.
Or you would
to be
like
honest.
some free money. Free 33 pence.
Or
Alternatively, if you are a listener and you are maybe associated with a slightly bigger business, if you'd like to maybe contact us.
Please contact me.
I'm certain Jeff Bezos listens to this on the weekly.
I've been emailing every episode to him.
I was counting out.
I got his personal email address. I've been sending them all.
Maybe shoot a mid-roll for us, because you can contact us if
Stop
you'd like to
eating the
sponsor us
fucking
at
pickle.
Dan
No, I'm
and
smoking.
Dan podcast@gmail.com. That is Dan and Dan podcast@gmail.com.
Is it that, or is there a third D?
Oh, it's just Dan and Dan.
Okay. Well, I
There's
just heard
no
on the.
drinks.
I heard on
involved
the
in
other podcast.
It's
you
not
two-
drinking when we're working.
We're all-
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I just heard
unfortunately,
there was some kind of
They're not
miscommunication
drunk,
on a different podcast, different episode.
Unfortunately, there is
Just
another
checking.
DNDND podcast. and I
Ah,
feel like
you're
we will come to
fucking
punches
joking.
eventually, but
Eventually,
until that point.
there'll be a some sort of
Dan,
episode where
The
you
D&D,
clash.
the other one,
Get them
is a
on.
Dungeons and Dragons podcast.
I'm
I
aware.
w- unsurprising.
Do you not think
really.
we could kick the shit out of it?
Just
I-
podcast.
you
know what?
videos from a
Everybody will
boxing ring.
I would like last week.
Why are you saying that like we haven't played Dungeons and
I would be. I
Dragons?
thought this was
Shush.
going to be a
You know what,
Dungeons and
Dan?
Dragons podcast. when I
Dan,
heard
last
its
week
name.
we
That was the
started.
selling point.
Dan, last week we started beef with James Corden.
Yep.
I'm starting beef with Dungeons and Dragons players.
As a whole.
Should we start beef with the D&D podcast?
That's
Yeah.
what I thought you were gonna say.
Yeah.
D&D v D&D.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's
Fuck
go
those guys.
D&D. I follow
Oi,
They
you.
were-
Come on now.
The winner
They would
of the-
never be able to deliver critical analysis of films like this podcast.
The boy.
I'm certain.
The winner
Who
is
would do
Stephen
that?
A.
They can only imagine a
They
quest. What kind of lame ass shit is that?
They'll just
Imagining
roll a
a
dice and
quest.
see where they
No,
go.
no,
Yeah,
no,
exactly. Those guys are losers.
Poison. How about David Lynch?
No. They think,
Shake my
you know
hand.
what, they may be able to cast thunderbolts, but I spit fire.
Oh,
Fire.
Okay,
Fire.
let me just
Fire.
silence you all for a minute.
Yep.
James of the D&D pod, the actual D&D pod, at us. Let's go.
Yeah, let's take you on,
let's fucking
James.
go.
Which James
Alternatively, James, do you want to do a collab? Because we've
Oh,
both got the
hell
same
yeah.
name.
That could be kind of tight.
Do you want to join two as one?
If we just
Also,
appreciate-
James from @Mr. Sunday Movies on Twitter and @Wikipedia. Oh,
Wikipedia Brown.
Wikipedia.
This is the first podcast, guys. It's only downhill from here.
Actually,
I'm not
James.
adding Nick. I refuse
Ja-
to do
actually-
it. He's busy with his trap.
Can I
No.
quickly hold on?
James at
doesn't
James
own a bloody
Darby
business,
at
does he?
us.
Can I quickly at Nick Wood? At Nick Wood. Fuck you.
Why
At
do
Nick
we just have beef with Jameses?
at
You know,
Nick
when-
Pembroke. Fuck you.
James
Yeah.
Godself.
Don't-
Fuck off.
I'll have to write an apology email again.
I assume you don't listen to the D&D
Yeah, I'll just keep my
podcast.
mouth shut.
Who
on
does?
this one.
Wait,
I-
which one? Ours or theirs?
The actual Dungeons and Dragons one.
No, I do.
I've had a
Sorry.
little, I've had a
keep
little
going.
listen since we
What's-
made ours.
Okay.
There are two Jameses.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, honestly,
Fuck
so we're adding both
James.
of them.
I hate Jameses.
James,
All
I can't
my
remember
homies
your name,
hate
Gazel or whatever.
Can we just appreciate that you are calling the other one the actual D&D podcast?
Yeah, that's
that
kind
you
of
believe
a-
so
it's a
little
fair
in your
point.
own that you don't believe it's the legit one.
We're gonna
They
edit
said-
that out.
They did it first.
But
The
we
whole
did
thing.
better than
Dan, first the worst, second the best.
To be fair, it does
First
only,
top lines
with the
with the
hairy
hairy
chest.
it does only give you something to work towards. You can eventually become the D&D
That's true, that's very true.
podcast.
My
Remember when we were
God.
discussing film?
Getting back to the point,
Yeah.
What a fucking
Which
mess
point?
that was.
What's
Where
a film?
were we?
what I'm going to do, I'm going to say this now because I feel like it's fair enough. I personally don't want to spoil this film too much.
No.
Even though we're in spoiler sections,
You know what?
Such a great film.
I
There
don't
is a
even think we
part-
brought up really the greatest plot twist.
Yeah.
in
Well,
the
that's
story.
I don't think
true.
it's fair.
And I
to
feel
bring
like
that
we
up.
shouldn't, because
I
It wouldn't make
implore
sense
you
It's
to
just
out
such
of
a-
context. It doesn't make
such
sense.
an absolutely excellent.
I implore you to watch Sorry to Bother You
Yeah.
by director Boots Riley. It is a masterpiece.
Mm.
But if you haven't, do not listen past this point because we will be spoiling the most amazing part of the
Are
film.
we doing that kind of thing? So this is second spoilers.
Second,
The
double
true
spoilers.
spoiler
Spoilers.
alert.
Super spoilers.
We haven't seen it.
Haggard
We haven't seen it. We're
spoilers.
trapped.
iCast super spoiler.
The
Wrong podcast.
main part of the film, almost the big twist of it, you get Lakeith's character Cassius visits the owner of
Worry free.
Worry Free.
Steve Lift.
and he is insinuated to snort a line of coke with them.
Fun fact: he was modelled after Elon Musk and Steve Jobs.
That makes
Makes
sense.
complete sense.
Yeah.
Makes total sense.
But he was still alive.
And
Yeah, they just put a corpse in the film and
I would not
decided
have-
that he would do coke.
Steve
I would
Jobs'
not have been.
mouldy
Wait,
skeleton.
what? Lakeith was designed after them.
The head
Oh,
of the
Steve
company.
I
Lift,
know.
you moron.
I'm being funny, alright,
I'm being
guys?
facetious.
I didn't know you were
He
hungry.
is suggested to visit the Emerald Door, the Jade Door.
Jade.
The magenta
Jade.
door. No, the
Jade.
magenta door.
Magenta.
No,
It's
it's
Jade.
Jade
Magenta's
and the,
red.
The other
Jade.
one is olive.
Jade is the door for the toilet.
Yes, but the magenta one's the one he actually goes to
No,
see
he
the
goes to
guy
see-
in.
Olive is the one he goes to. Magenta's
all
red,
green.
Spud.
Yes, no, because he
They're
meets
both
the
green,
guy.
you pleb.
No, they're all green.
There are
that's why
3
he gets it
doors.
Oh
wrong.
yeah, okay. Wait, no, I know what you're saying.
When he
the
goes to
magenta
see him.
door is the one with the boss.
Yes.
That is the one he sent to originally, and then he snorts the line of coke.
Mm.
He asks the boss to go to the toilet. He goes to the Jade door, and in fact, he actually goes to the Olive door, which is false. When he walks in there, he finds a horseman. That is
In
a
a-
half man,
Yeah.
half horse.
Very disturbing. Very big penis.
It's like
It's
a reverse-
horrific.
Surprisingly big penis.
It's imagine
We'll
like
show
a
you in a
reverse
second.
centaur, basically.
Essentially so.
Mm.
And from this point on, you find out that the company that Cassius has been talking to and working with has been subduing people and turning them into horse people because they pay better and work better.
Yeah.
It's a horrible, horrible dystopia of a film, and it is a direct, almost direct kind of metaphor for racism and turning people into work horses.
Yeah.
It's sort of an alienation kind of vibe. You know, you're so involved in your work that you're no longer the person that you are doing the work, if you know what I mean.
I fully know
Yeah.
what you mean.
Classic Marxist theory, am I right, guys?
We all simp for Marxists, to be fair.
I do
So
simp.
true.
I do simp.
Mm.
for Karl.
I sit
Well-
for Tessa Thompson.
I simp. Yeah, no, so
You
do
can
I.
simp for Karl Marx and Tessa Thompson.
That is very true. Have you talked about the left eye symbolism?
Approach it briefly.
Did we
Start.
get distracted?
The,
We've-
No, I approach it
Something that
briefly.
comes
But the
forward,
the
yeah.
left eye is obviously the kind of activists against the
Work free?
what
Worry free.
Worry free.
It's so confusing how this organisation just slips my mind.
Mm.
The Worry Free organisation, and they do make a few appearances in the media and on the TV. But you get Tessa Thompson, Cassius's girlfriend, throughout the film, does show a symbol of makeup always on her left eye to show that
Yeah.
she is always with the cause. It's a very, very subtle and very nice nod for it.
Yeah.
But past the horseman point, Cassius breaks out of his kind of capitalistic view and starts to become an activist with
Yeah.
his girlfriend against the horse people.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the moment that
No,
he
with
get-
the horse people
Yeah.
against the.
Yeah.
Oh
Owners
yeah,
of the
yeah,
horse
yeah,
people.
but- yeah, obviously.
Well, against the
Against
horse,
selling them.
company,
Yeah.
yeah,
the
against
horse people
slaving them.
corporation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's the moment that he gets burned by the company that he sort of sees
Yeah.
the error of his ways, and then he exposes them through the. Was it like I got the shit?
You
beat-
got the shit.
Yeah, you
I
got the shit kicked out of you.
No, it's I got the shit
program.
kicked out of me, and it's literally people go on screen, get their ass kicked, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then they fall into the shit pit.
A
Yeah.
lovely
Which is a pit
metaphor.
of shit.
Bloody lovely
It's a
metaphor.
it's
It's one
it's
of
a
the,
not too
yeah.
subtle kind of
Yeah.
jab at reality TV.
It's one of
and
these
kind of exposing
adverts,
yourself.
like the bits that's been running for the whole movie as well.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
a Chekhov's
It's
I
just
got
sort
the
of
shit
beamed.
kicked out of me.
Exactly.
A Chekhov's reality show
Yeah.
of sorts.
But you get to the point where Cassius has become an activist. He is against the company that owns the horse people and starts a revolution.
Pretty much,
and sets up. Initially in the film, he does break the picket line and becomes almost a villain to his own cause. And later in the film, he sets up the picket line to an unbreakable amount.
He gets some like weird statue people.
I can't really remember the origin of the statues, but I know they're kind of hinted at before in the film.
So we get some stone people and the
American
local
football team.
That are suggested to throughout the film.
I think the football team sort of serve as another classic. Like you're so unaware of your own situation. That you're just continuing to do the same thing. I think it's kind of an illusion to all the other words.
That's true.
It's kind of a classic archetype, especially in American culture. There's a lot of these kind of sportsmen people stuck in their ways, kind of characters.
Peaking in like high school.
Exactly. It's that kind of character. And
that's so funny though, because the way they introduce that team is them driving past an alleyway. The main character's talking about how he used to be in a high school football team, and they're driving past an alleyway, and they point out the window, and it's just
like a big old rabble of boys. That's what's nice about this film. There's so many of these little things that they point to, but they actually have so much more significance to the wider story and sort of just the general themes of the movie in general.
Yeah. So they managed to they stop the police from breaking through the picket line.
Yeah. And then they
call the National Guard.
Violence. Yep.
Yeah. And they absolutely destroy the rioters,
which is a very, very horrible symbolism of
very close time.
And he gets quite dark.
And he gets smacked in the face and thrown in the back of a van.
Mm-hmm.
And through this little slit in the side of it, he sees what's going on outside. And it's horrific. Everyone's getting the shit kicked out of them by the police. And the police actually almost run a bunch of people over in a van. Which is pretty fucked up.
Until you see
the van stop and get pushed back by horse people.
The horse people.
They have returned. He entirely accidentally released the horse people from their captivity.
Yep.
And so I guess they were just wandering about looking to do some vigilante justice.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Which is respectable.
Is that a metaphor how if the working class work together they can overthrow
the divided left?
No, it's a metaphor for if we turned people into horses, they'd be great.
Yeah, let's turn people into horses. That's what I've got from this film.
I think to be fair, the real takeaway of this film is that we need to entirely submit ourselves to late capitalism or become equestrian men.
What are they called? Equo-sapien.
I think something like that.
That scene is fantastic, and what you get is the payoff of Cassius being a black rights activist with the horses to essentially turn the civilians against this corporation. And the ending scene, it all looks positive, it all looks very blockbustery happy. You get Cassius moves in back to his old garage from the start of the film with Tessa Thompson, his girlfriend.
Living with Terry Crews again.
That's alright, he seems nice.
He's got a lovely house now.
Yeah, they like him.
In a very quick turn of events, he starts sprouting nostrils like a horse.
And it just
quick cut to the end of the film, and then the post-credits roll.
Which is the fucking
Steve
Army,
Lift's house.
was it? Yeah, Army
Steve Lift gets raided by the horseman. They all come to fuck him up. It's very nice kind of.
And he just says, and he finishes it off by saying, "Sorry to bother you," and smashing a camera and breaking into his house.
Boots Riley is an amazing director. This is his first feature film.
The fact is, his first film is absolutely incredible.
Blows my mind. And he based this off an album of his own band, The Coup, from 2012, called Sorry to Bother You.
Yep.
And he built the film off this. Fantastic piece.
Yeah, it really is. It's really
amazing. Amazing political commentary. Amazing, weird, humoresque kind of point to it.
I think the ability to balance those two and like all the absurdity throughout the whole film, and be so on the nose but not annoying about it is just really amazing.
It's unbelievable.
I just realised all of the names mean something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have
yeah.
literally
Yeah,
said,
we
that
said
on
that.
this
No,
podcast.
but did you?
Yes.
Did you go into all of them? I don't remember.
Well, we didn't go to all of them.
There's
We mentioned
there's one
Detroit.
special breakdown.
We mentioned
Detroit,
Detroit and
Michigan,
Cash
Michigan.
Green.
Detroit, yeah.
Cash Green, Mister
Lift.
Something
Steve
debauchery.
Lift. Yeah,
Oh,
Deanna
debauchery.
Debauchery.
I mean, that
There's
was
a lot. There's a
I
lot
guess I
going
just
on.
wasn't paying attention.
There's far too
Yeah,
much
go
for us to break down. We'd have
Yeah.
to do a
Yeah.
bloody
in-
YouTube video on it.
In the
Can't be
debauchery one, there is literally a bit where the characters
It's
going,
like-
what,
Yeah,
like
that looks like
debauchery?
debauchery.
That's what's so good about this film. It points so heavily to what
Yeah.
the point it's making is, but
Oh, yeah.
without being like,
It doesn't shove it in your face.
yeah, exactly. It doesn't shove it in your
Yeah.
face,
It's
but
the perfect example of hiding in plain sight.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even
They're
say that. I think
they're
it's just
basically
really
shoving-
confident
yeah.
in what it's saying, and it's nice
Yeah.
to see that.
I would pay big money to watch the next Boots Riley feature.
Absolutely, absolutely.
this.
As long as it includes
does anyone
horse
know
people.
of any?
He's got an upcoming
Developments?
project. He's working
Ooh.
alongside another director, but it
Nice.
hasn't been revealed what
Okay.
the story or title is yet.
Very nice. Well,
Fair
I
enough.
will keep my eye out for that because that would, it's a great
Yeah.
film, and
So do I.
it attracted a lot of good actors as well. So I
Sorry
can
to,
imagine
sorry
the
to
next
bother you too.
piece.
Do you have a little more time?
Very clever.
I would hope so.
All right, Spot.
Yes.
How many related to the film, obviously, given they're horse people?
Yes.
How many furlongs out of 10 would you rate this film?
I was hoping you were going to go for the other one so I could have made a joke, but probably 7.
7.
How many are in a race?
Who knows?
A number.
I think it really
A
does.
lot.
Several horses.
Close to.
I don't follow horse racing.
Close.
I'm
Close
not
to
a
a lot.
Tory.
That
A
would
lot.
take you quite a long time as well. They're quite fast.
Making money.
Shut up, Patrick. A 7 furlong down.
7 furlongs.
That
out
means
of 10.
it was a good thing. However
Yeah,
many it is.
Definitely
it's good.
positive. I would say a strong 8.5
Ooh.
furlongs out of 10.
Okay,
Yeah, fair
fantastic.
Holgers, what are you saying?
I'd give it. I think I'll give it 8 furlongs out of 10 furlongs.
That's interesting because you gave this an 8 furlongs, but you gave Trolls World Tour a 6 strings out of 6 strings.
All I'm saying is,
You gave Trolls a perfect score.
you haven't seen Trolls World Tour,
To be like,
and I will thank you for not criticising
you haven't
it until you've seen it.
experienced Trolls World.
How dare you?
it is a full body
in
high.
the review part of this podcast, bring up, frankly, the best film of any year, let alone 2020. But hey, look, I'm getting
Truly
too
one
worked
of
up.
one of the
Passion.
greatest motion pictures ever put to
Passion in his
screen.
voice.
All I'm saying is it saves cinema, and you didn't. All right.
I can tell you're passionate, and I'm sorry for questioning you.
I will
No,
give
I-
it 8 furlongs out of 10 furlongs.
I'll be
And
honest,
I'll give
I'm-
Trolls World Tour again 6.
I'll be honest,
Yeah.
I'm worried that I put mine a bit too low because I didn't know what a furlong was.
I don't know what a furlong is either.
You know what?
It's
Well,
like-
it's
it's
fun.
like
I think you've only got
measurement.
yourself.
You know
to
what?
blame.
Ask the Tory.
It's, I'm not a fucking
What's a-
Tory. I've
what's
only
a
lived them
furlong?
actually.
Oh.
All right, if we're asking Tories, Eve, what's a furlong?
It's like
I don't
furlong.
know.
It's like
Also,
It's a
It's
unit
like-
of measurement.
Danny,
it's
if you
like
don't
long-
cut
it's
that
like-
out of the thing, I will be so mad at you.
It's
Do
like how
not
you know.
dare
It's like how
put that in.
kilometers get put down to
Yeah.
meters. Furlongs get put down to miles, basically. I think.
Oh, bloody hell.
Furlongs
Okay.
just no. I think we should do this
I
out of
thought
10
furloughs
because
when you get
furlongs
paid
just.
from.
I was no,
A
Dan.
furlough
I
is
was
an
really
economic
hoping you
scheme
were gonna
used
do it
to
out of
pay
ten.
workers during times of pandemic.
10
A furlong is a unit of distance measurement.
Where-
Yeah, that's what. Who said furlong?
You did.
Okay, well, it's a furlong. I was
Yeah.
testing you.
after
Trying to catch you boys out.
after the 10.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
all, the three of us
Primary
did.
school.
Yeah, us three did.
I didn't.
Have
But
you
I'm not a
ever
Tory,
seen
I
the-
swear.
With that shirt, you are.
Oh,
With that hat,
come
you're
on.
not.
It's Rob's Tory shirt.
Oh no, it's a nice shirt.
This is all getting cut out. All right, no, that's a fair enough. I'll give you that. I know Trolls World Tour was a very a good experience for you.
Near and dear
What
to your
are you
heart.
saying?
I was saying 8, and I would like to give a special mention. I feel like we should have included it earlier to the earrings that Tessa Thompson
Oh,
wears.
true.
Incredible
Oh, right.
character
Yeah.
design.
Absolutely.
It's an overlooked
Yeah.
element.
Yeah. Tessa Thompson's earrings are a mainstay of the film. They
Very-
are fantastic.
What's your favourite earring of the whole thing?
I have to say, I do like the murder, kill, kill, kill.
I was a
Nice.
big fan of the electric chair,
I was
like
gonna
the
say
gold
electric.
electric
I'll be honest,
chair.
bury your rag in my face is nice.
Deep in
because
my
That was very good.
because it's a reference to a Bob Dylan song,
Yeah, absolutely.
That's true.
Fair enough.
which is pretty nice little.
Well, I guess I'm left with the cock one.
Why?
As always.
Why
You
are you
don't
not happy
have
to
to.
choose the glittery purple penis?
Even
mean,
if I
It's two-tone. Thank you.
Yeah, it was purple and orange.
Oh,
on
sorry.
on the chance that I don't video edit this podcast, which I really pick and choose which ones I do because I'm a lazy man, I will just flash up the penis earrings on screen for when a Hawker says
What am I
that.
called? Sorry.
Shut up! I'm very drunk already. But when Hawker says that, so you get a good penis mention there.
Nice.
If you do video editing, can you do that filter on everyone where they like face morphs into a horse?
Yeah, I sure can.
That would be fitting.
Either way, I'd like to give this film a 9.
Oh, I
Nine
was
furlongs,
scared to
that's
go
it.
for a 9, but I don't blame you.
I've obviously already watched it before, but it's such a fantastic
I think
film.
it was better on a second watch.
It honestly was better on a second watch, and it hits so hard. Every single point, like political point, hits so hard. It's fantastic. I love it. I love it.
I also loved it.
Yeah.
Right.
One of my favourite.
What did you think of it,
recent
Vivian?
I thought it was really great.
movies.
Where did you go?
Only mention.
Introduced in the next podcast.
Only mention of her in this. No.
Shut up.
Dad, you cut out all of this.
Sample
except-
that big fit.
Put the
bit.
last
That's
like,
me
All you
screaming.
no. You cut out all of that except me asking her and her answering. That's all she is in this podcast. And you'll be in the
Oh,
next.
hello. Are you in a
You'll be a-
Christopher Nolan film?
You'll be a main character in the next one.
Bloody hell. Alright. Thank you all for listening again. It has truly been a pleasure.
Been proud to be on
it
this
has
cast.
If you'd like to contact us or email us or ask us why Spot has such a low voice, and I haven't got a pun for this one or a joke, so let's just,
Just
go
in
with
general.
it. Just in general.
Do
Yeah,
I?
what the fuck
Yeah.
is wrong with you, dude?
Or alternatively,
Apologise. I just.
sponsor us. You can email us at Oh no. dananddanpod@gmail.com. There
That's
you
why my
go.
voice
Rattle
is
that
so
one
deep
off.
because I'm dad.
If you want to
Get
contact us on Twitter, we are DNDND Podcast 1. And if you want to get in contact with us on Instagram, we are DNDND Podcast. So you can at us there. Of our friends of the show, there is a. How do I plug Rob? It's
If you want to follow me, follow Emmanuel_Basquez.
yeah,
It'll
that's-
be the greatest experience of your life.
That is IMMANUEL_BUSCASE. If you'd like to follow my friend Mr. Hawkswood here, it is A.HAWKSWOOT. And if you want to follow
It's what?
D, not
D?
T.
Adam
D or
Hawkswoods.
whatever. And if you want to follow Eve, I'm going to plug her art account because that's the big one. Is it EVES?
Next time, alright?
EVES.art.jpg, and because she's such a little shit, I'm going to plug Vivian Olivia R. So follow that as well.
What about my art
Oh,
account?
no.
It's called my Twitter. My art account's my Twitter.
Arrivederci.
Thank you so much for watching, and I do
Watching?
apologise.
You should.
Listening. Oh no!